Because I'm like, it didn't even show me.
That would help. I'm on live talking to myself, and I didn't even realize
he was in here
I was
really
going in it.
going
I was going in this morning. I ain't even realized that I didn't hit go live.
He was talking to y'all and everything.
Yeah, I'm looking at the chat. I'm speaking. I'm doing all of this. Grace guys, how you doing? Shy, what's going on?
Can y'all hear us? Everybody hear us?
Renaissance grandmama, how you doing?
Grandma. Hi, Shakira.
Family man.
Hi, family man.
How y'all doing this morning?
Miss Grace guys, how are you doing?
Welcome on in.
Y'all excuse us, we're a little sweaty this morning.
Yeah, we got up early this morning, so
we've been working.
Good. Thank you, Ms. B. So this morning we got up a little bit early, right? We wanted to they had to take care of some washing, you know.
Yeah.
We normally are wash and hang things out, but the rain, man, it's been raining a lot, a whole lot here. And when I tell you it's been coming down, it's been coming down. I don't know about your area. I don't know what's going on your side, but
yes,
it has been raining here. So
hi, Kathy B. How you doing?
Kathy B, how you doing? I don't see my chat moving. I guess so. Right there.
Yeah, it's this one.
Gotcha. Grand Rising.
How's everybody today?
So welcome to Eco Nation News, y'all. News you may or may not be able to use. But we're going to give it to you because you came here to get it, and we're going to give it to you. So first of all, I just want to say it's been 115 degrees today, Kathy B. Really? Oh, my goodness. I won't complain. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Vegas. I mean,
well, it's cool over here then, Kathy B.
Yeah. It's maybe like fall over here compared to where you are. I mean,
I can't even imagine.
I don't see how y'all do it, man. I don't know if I could do that like that. But hey, to each his own.
Kathy B, you still growing? You still growing in that type of heat? I know.
What are you growing? Cactus? I mean, what? I mean, you boiling water out there.
I know a couple of people over in Vegas, and the struggle is real with trying to grow things. So, BJ's Reading Garden, how are you doing? BJ? Good morning.
So, let me ask you all a question. You know, did y'all hear the good news that they found the young lady out of Alabama?
Yes.
So, that's some good news that they found the young lady out of Alabama.
Yes.
We're glad to hear that. We're praying that she's safe. I know there's more to the story, but the prayers did go up and the blessings did come down.
Yes.
And I hope that she's safe. And I couldn't imagine being, missing for that period of time. But together we can. That just shows that if we together unite and stand, that great results can happen. Because
I promise that's all we need.
Yeah.
All we need
unity.
is unity. All we need is to stand together.
Yeah.
When we stand together, great things happen. We know it firsthand because that's why we build a community. Around us, we build a community of people who are like-minded, who have some of the same goals and same missions. Even if their goals are not exactly what our goals are, we still work together to help people accomplish their goals as well. So when we stand together, this is a classic example of how I saw the content creators, the influencers, the big people out there putting her picture out. Just keep putting her picture out. No matter what you do, if you see something, if you see her picture on somebody else's page, go ahead and repost it. Even make a comment. Make sure that people know that we are looking for this young lady, because we know right now that sex trafficking is at an all-time high right now in our world. And so I'm not saying that was the situation, but it just certainly is suspicious. And so we need to make sure that we are 1,000% down for being supportive of each other.
V Bundy, how you doing?
Hi.
Juicing with Jay.
Kelly, bro, how you doing?
We'll be in Vegas on Monday. Safe travels to you.
Yes, please
Lorenzo,
be safe.
Preston, how you doing?
Take your small fan with you. Take your little fan with the water. Be blowing the water on you. Take a couple of those with you. How you doing, Lorenzo, Preston? B Bundy, how are you doing? Says hi, Gigi, Eco, and whole chat family. Happy Sunday. It's pouring out here in New York. We have gotten storm alerts, so I'm in the house waiting for the storm to be over.
Well,
Yeah,
y'all be
here
safe.
we got a friend up in Virginia who also said the storms were coming through up there. So you guys, please be safe. Take cover. I hope that you have some preps. I'm gonna stop talking because Eco Neighbor looking at me like she won't take a breath.
She won't. She won't. I'm like, she has her own channel. You know what I'm saying? She can do whatever she would like to do, and it'll be different. I love the conversation. I love her intellect, but she just gotta take breaks in the middle of it so people can add to that value. You know what I'm saying?
How I need to do what I need to do.
Take a breath. Just breathe. Just breathe. I mean, I get it. The exhale, ain't nothing wrong with exhaling, but you gotta inhale sometimes. Just sometimes. That's all I'm saying. BJ,
okay, I'm gonna be quiet, and I'm gonna let Eco
I'm not asking you to be quiet. I'm just asking you to take a break every now and then.
Eco Neighbor channel.
You better believe it.
So I'm gonna let Eco Neighbor have this.
You better believe it.
Okay.
As long as we clear on that. As long as we clear. Yeah, they found the young lady in Alabama safe. I'm glad.
Yes. Hi,
Chime. How you doing, Chime?
How you doing? Lynette Lawrence. Hello. How you doing?
Where's
Good
Lynette?
to see you.
Okay. All in the soil. How you doing?
All in the soil.
Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome, y'all. Come on in. Come on in. It's
on
hot.
Here.
It's hot, but it's still good. You know, it's clean air right out here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
we're gonna have to build one of these, baby.
You see what they did with the flooring?
Yeah.
They didn't do the concrete.
Yeah.
They did the wood floor.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, the wood floor is much softer, and then like if you get kids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
With
grandbaby running around.
Yeah, if they fall and stuff.
running around. Yeah, this is a good idea. But
Eco, stop!
Cool.
You sound like my husband. Breathe. Oh, I'm just saying. My thing is she can go for 20 minutes straight
before she talking.
Before she say,
I know he ain't talking. Now watch how long I be quiet, y'all. Watch this. Watch how long I be quiet.
That's
and then
not the goal.
That's how long he talk. And he'll talk for 30 minutes. And then if I talk for 3 minutes, he gonna be like, man, sure got your own channel.
Don't worry, Gigi. That's what the guys say about the girls. You know what? We're not gonna get sexist in here. This is not the environment. This is not the place that we're gonna do sexist. It's equal for everyone. And that's why we would like for the conversation to be equal for everyone.
I'm about to be quiet. Watch this.
What's the point? I mean, I'm not asking for you to be quiet. I'm just asking for you to just take pauses. 15 seconds. What's up, David? What's going on, man? Welcome on in. So another thing that's been going on the homestead is we've been getting so much rain. We have not been able to get a lot of work done due to the fact of a lot of rain has been going on. We've been having some storms come through. Thankfully, no down trees. I wish that some of the dead trees would fall, but they're not even falling right now. But take a pause. That's right. Like that. Eco, I have not seen you in a good while, but enjoy your short tutorials very much. Okay, thank you. Well, good to see you. I'm glad you came in. But nevertheless, since I have the floor, I wanted to continue with the peppers. We are having some amazing production with the peppers. I know that Gigi don't want to speak on that, but we'll go and we'll continue to go through the peppers. The peppers are amazing.
That's a setup. There is a setup on a Sunday morning.
The peppers
that is not fair and it's not right.
Can you elaborate a little bit about the peppers?
No, because you told me to be quiet.
Okay. Now, moving on, the tomatoes are doing very nice as well. We have a little roadway with nothing but tomatoes. So we got a pathway and a line in the pathway. Gigi has been working hard to kind of keep them stabilized and upright. I don't know what strategy she used to do that. If she was talking, she could tell us about some of those strategies. But since she's not saying nothing, we'll move on. So we got the peppers, we got the tomatoes. Now, as far as the chickens, Sean and the chickettes, they have been very vocal, very vocal. I think this heat is really getting to them. I'm definitely satisfied with the breed of chickens that we have. I think they can really stand a lot of heat and they can stand a lot of cold. We have one chicken that will not get out of the coop. She moves from nest to nest, but she stays in there 24/7. I I'm hoping that eventually, once we start getting some fertile eggs, maybe she'll stay on one of the nests. We would have Gigi to kind of go and talk a little bit about that, but she's not saying nothing. So I'm quite sure she would have something to say since she retrieves the eggs quite often. And I'm definitely gonna try to crack open some of those eggs and then give me some good scrambled eggs. I think I want some peppers. I think I want a little green peppers, red peppers, some onions kind of mixed in there with a little pepper, with a little seasoned salt, kind of scrambled up. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to enjoying some of that as well. I'm going to step away just for 1 second. I'm going to grab a rag. Y'all stay tuned. Please don't go anywhere. And yeah, I'll be right back.
Okay, he far enough away now. Look, I can talk now because he ain't here. Okay, so let me tell y'all about peppers, right? So y'all know that, like, I love growing peppers. Like, if out of everything to possibly grow, peppers is one of my favorite things to grow. Probably, and tomatoes too. But I love peppers, and I love this time of the year because I get to grow me some peppers, right? And so we got bell peppers. Like, I did not get enough. Who is growing bell peppers? I got bell peppers coming. Look at this. Look at this. He's so low down. He's so low down. Who is growing peppers? Who else is growing peppers? I got plenty of bell peppers growing. I got jalapenos growing. I love jalapenos. I definitely needed to re-up on me some jalapenos. And then I have some sweet peppers. That was the one thing that I wanted to make sure that I grew plenty of this year. And I don't have enough. Okay. He's back.
Oh, are we gonna do this the whole live like this, or are we gonna collaborate?
You told me to be quiet because it's the Eco Neighbor channel.
No. Once again, you don't follow instructions. What I said was take a breath every now and then.
Okay.
This would not be a quality thing. I can take your name down from here. You know, if you're not going to speak and you're not going to collaborate, because this is a collaboration.
Well, you giving mixed signals. Like,
there's no mixed signals. I just say take a breath.
What you want?
That's all. Breathe.
Tomatoes are doing really good inside and outside. Nice, Kathy B.
So what do you use?
I'm growing all hot peppers. You growing all hot peppers, Jay? Cool. Hey, Mrs. Queen, how you doing?
What's up, Brother Lawrence? How you doing? What I would like to do is
Brother Lawrence,
grow some. What were those called? Those kind of sweet but hot. They were yellow.
They were sweet but hot. Oh, the banana peppers.
Banana. They were sweet, right?
The ones that, like, they were just going crazy in the whole yard.
Yeah.
The banana peppers. So they have like a sweeter version, and then they have a hotter version. So I think we had both of them.
I like that sweet version.
But yeah, I like those as well. And they are so prolific. Like, they gonna give you tons of peppers.
They so what now?
Prolific. They give a lot. They give a whole lot.
Let's say they give a lot.
They give a lot.
Okay.
I said they're gonna give you tons of peppers. After I said it.
Prolific.
We gardeners. We know what that means.
Oh, I wasn't sure.
They give a ton of peppers. Collab, not a takeover. This ain't the club.
That's what I'm talking about. Come on, Juicing with Jay.
Good morning. Tess in the garden. Good morning.
David.
How you doing?
That's right, man.
Just pause every now and then. Okay, then.
That's it. That's all.
Shoot, man. Okay, I'm gonna pause.
It's like she take a ball and she goes home. You know, we said we want to play basketball, right? She brought a ball and she dribbling all over the place. She shooting time. She getting a rebound. She getting everything. She going from one end to the court to the other end of the court, and she keep dribbling. And we said, pass the ball a little bit. Just pass the ball. That's all.
Okay.
We ain't saying take your ball and go home.
G Mama, how you doing?
What's up, G Mama? So today,
hey, Miss D, how you doing, Miss D?
I want group participation, y'all. This is something that I really want to talk about. We're gonna start off with Gigi, and then I'm gonna come in, and then I want some of you all to come in because we get into the latter portion because we're not gonna be out here drowning in this heat today. But this is what I would like to do.
Okay.
We were just thinking, right? And we were talking on yesterday. about the heat,
Mhm.
and it's very hot.
Mhm.
It says that it's 78 degrees. I don't believe that. I don't
Oh.
believe that that's true. What do you
Thank
think?
goodness for this pavilion.
Yeah. And then we got a little gentle breeze, which helps too as well. But you remember we had this conversation with African Dreaming yesterday, right?
Yes. Yesterday,
Just yesterday.
we were on the African Dreaming podcast. Some things and some stuff.
Yeah.
We were on their podcast yesterday.
Y'all check
just
out
having
African
a
Dreaming
conversation with
podcast.
them. So check out their podcast.
Spotify.
You can get it on Spotify.
Yeah.
They said the easiest way to find it is if you just go to Spotify and you put in African Dreaming. African with a K, just like they spell it on YouTube.
Yeah, it was an honor to be a part of that podcast.
Great conversation
we had a great
friends.
time fellowshipping over the podcast, and so y'all check that out.
We have
please.
so much in common we didn't even realize.
Yeah. I think we all do to a certain degree. We all got a lot of different things in common.
Yeah.
But one of our conversations that we had was, you remember, babe?
Which one?
The conversation when we talk about if we could bring back somebody from the past.
Oh, yeah.
So this is what I want you all to do. Y'all can comment, and for those of you all that are willing to share, I'm hoping some of you all will be willing to share something. But think about this. Who would you bring back, whether it's a friend, a family member, or maybe a movie star, or anything? Who would you bring back and then allow them to go ahead, baby?
Who wants to come up and actually talk about it? Who wants to come up and tell us about somebody from your past that you would bring back, whether it was your big mama or a special auntie or uncle or cousin or somebody who would be like a great YouTuber.
That's the key. So this is what we tying in. Imagine somebody that's no longer here that you admire, you would love to see and watch. Now, I want you to think about if they had a YouTube channel, and then I want you to think about what would that YouTube channel look like. So who would you who would you bring?
Who would I bring?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Y'all, let me drop the link. I'm getting ready to drop the link, y'all.
Yeah, I had I only knew I knew two of my grandmothers because, one of them passed away before I was born. And then Auntie Bev Jones said, I do.
Y'all come on in.
One of them passed away. But listen, I had one grandmama that was lit. Okay. She was lit. I had one that was lit, and then I had a great grandmama that was she was very calm, and she had a very serene type of personality. And hey,
I like you.
She had a very serene type of personality, and I just remember me brushing her hair because she had this long. They said that somewhere down the line in our family, we had engine in the family. Okay, y'all know that from the South. That's what we used to say. Nothing disrespectful. Very, very beautiful, beautiful skin, and beautiful long hair. And so she would let me brush her hair. She wasn't much of a talker. I got that from the other side of the family. She wasn't much of a talker, but she was I remember just her being so very sweet. And she just let me always brush her hair. And that's what I can remember, just seeing her hair. And I was a little child, maybe 5 or 6 years old. And I remember just brushing her hair. And so I feel like she could have been a great YouTuber when it comes to, the hair. Definitely had to be the hair.
She would have a hair channel.
And she would definitely have a hair channel and be, one of those big ones.
How to care for and how to love your hair.
Definitely. Yeah. And then I had the lit grandma where everything was a party. It was always a party. So she would definitely have been a great. Oh man, yeah. It was always a party. Everything was. So those are two of them. Oh, I got one more though.
Come on.
So I had one aunt that would take me to fish when I was little. I was a little bitty girl. She kept me before I started to go to public school. Y'all know I went to public school, so don't expect too much. Okay. But she used to keep me, and She would always take me fishing. And you even remember this aunt. That's the one used to always come to your grandma's.
The white Nova. She
Yeah.
had a white.
Yeah.
No, Chevelle. She had a white Chevelle.
Whatever it was, child. So she took great care of me.
She used to give me some good tips too for taking them eggs. To the
my love.
Oh, I thought I felt something.
My love of bananas. What was it?
It's a dog. I said, man, I keep feeling something on my leg, man.
Oh my gosh. Hey, you're so cute.
Come here. Come here.
Oh my gosh.
I wasn't ready for you. Where did you
come from?
Look at you. You came from somebody's house.
There is a whole dog down here.
Yeah, I felt something on my leg. I was like, whoa, wait a minute, something on my leg.
It's
then
so
I looked
cute.
Down. Come here, let me see if I can pick you up and show you to the crew.
Where did you come from? Look at this.
Look here.
Look at this cute dog.
Just walked up. Something else.
It heard us over here, I guess, and decided to come over.
Yeah.
I'm glad it was a little schnauzer and not anything else.
I'm slipping though. Normally I can feel something moving around, but I'm slipping, you know. I think I was into your conversation a little too deep.
Yeah. So that that was the one that always kept me with bananas and candy and all of that stuff. Yeah. But anyway, go ahead. Who would you bring up? Who's coming up? Who wants to come up?
Yeah, y'all come up. I got the link in the chat.
The link is in the chat. Drop it again.
Tell us who you would like to see on YouTube that is no longer here, if they had a YouTube channel, and tell us, what do you think their YouTube channel will be about?
African Dreaming. How you doing?
So y'all are invited. The link is in there.
Unbiased. How you doing?
What's up, Unbiased? How you doing?
The link is up in the African Dreamer. Come on up here. Get up in this thing.
So who would my first choice would be my Big Mama. You already know it.
Yes.
Big Mama. If y'all been watching my channel, I dedicate my gardening and all my gardening and growing skills to my great grandmother. My great grandmother was amazing. Everything was connected in her house, from cooking to washing dishes, to washing clothes, to making soap. And that pot, that big black kettle pot in the back of her yard, we cooked in it, we washed, we made soap with it. We cleaned the chickens. I mean, we cooked turtle with it. It was just so many different things. I can remember she would have so many collard greens out of her garden. She would just soak in that kettle pot, just soak those collard greens out. And like I said, she washed all of her whites. All of her whites was in that black kettle pot. She would make her own lye soap. She make her own lard. I mean, I even remember she would cook skins in that pot. So she was just amazing. I would love to see her, to be able to go back and just see my Big Mama, get up in the morning and then maybe light the heater to go around and kind of work, in the yard. I remember we used to shovel the chicken poop and then we'll spread it out in the garden. She grew the beautiful flowers. You could sit on her porch and people used to walk up and down the street. We grew up, on the segregated south side, on the opposite side of the tracks, and people would just walk back and forth. And we had a couple of juke joints down the road. This was when everything was in your community. We had the taxi driver was down the street. We had a mortician. We had a doctor. We had a dentist. This was when you had your stores. Your neighborhood stores would be in the house. So upstairs they would live upstairs. But downstairs, you'll have the glass cases with all the candy, with all the cookies and pickle feed and all of that stuff. We would go down there with 25 cents and come back with bags of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it was just a good time.
When the cookies used to be a penny back then.
Yeah,
and
they were big old cookies.
They had them little bags. Yeah. And you could load that bag up. Oh, yeah.
And then I do remember, I don't know if y'all in the South, we had like those little juke joints. And I remember we had Willie Walton. And then we had another, I can't remember his name. But you would walk down there and the juke box be playing and it's playing loud. We couldn't walk in. We could just stand out there and then look, and people be in there. They had the bar open. It was all open. It was like, when you walked up to it, it was like a porch and it was all open. You can just see up in there and you hear the music playing and you hear you hear people having a good time, and us kids, we'll be standing out there looking at all the drunk people and laughing and making fun out of them.
Yes.
And just having a good time, you know.
Those were the good old days, though. I promise
time.
you. I promise those were the good old days. And man, when you said the juke joints and the boxes,
you put a quarter
in there,
man, and you get back then we used to choose like 3 songs for a quarter.
I mean,
and then you put in your 3 songs, and then like I said, when it bumped, man. It rocked the whole place because it is connected to the stereo system there. But it was just smells, and it was like just feeling in the air that was totally different now. Where you couldn't walk down the street without speaking to people. You know, I would love to go and see that on a YouTube channel, to go back and then take a look at the South Side and what we call the SIBO side, and just look at the people. And it was like TV shows. It were characters. People would walk down the street. You had one guy. He had like a fishing pole light rod, and it was striped black and white, and he had like a tassel at the end of it. He would just walk around just fanning. And you know, I didn't understand. We had Manhunt. Manhunt would ride the bicycle, the kind of like Debo, but he wasn't big like Debo. But he would ride that red iron horse.
Man, we were terrified.
Yeah,
we were terrified because he was huge to me, you know.
Yeah, he was strong now.
But we were terrified. We were terrified.
They used to call him Manhunt.
Walking around, riding the bicycle and chasing you and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, how you doing, beautiful? Auntie Bev Jones.
Auntie Bev Jones.
How you doing?
Hi, guys. I'm listening and laughing. I did hear the part about some giant cookies and aunt buying things. And I think those were like windmill cookies and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The pink cookies and the windmill cookies. Yeah.
And don't forget, I like the lemon cookies. That's what I used to like. Yeah, those lemon cookies were the bomb.
And penny candy, right? Penny candy.
Yep.
Yeah.
What those blow? Those you remember them blow? They was like almost like a pink, and it was hard on the outside, and they had gum on the inside.
Oh yeah.
Bazooka bubble gum and stuff like that. I don't know.
I don't remember what it was called.
I can't remember. It was Big Blow or something like that. I can't remember what it was called.
Big Blow.
Yeah. I used to love those.
Yeah.
So Lynette says her maternal family in Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, we grew up in South Georgia, so
where your family from?
Mine from Mississippi, Alabama. Brother Lawrence said he's from Mississippi, Alabama.
Yeah, but so I was from South Georgia and my South Florida, Miami area.
Yeah.
So that's where our fam was from. So what you got? What you got, Auntie Bev? Tell us who would you bring back, and what kind of YouTube channel you think they would have?
Well, I would want to bring back 2 people, but if I had to choose one of the 2, I would say my granddaddy, because he was offered a farm in Macon, Georgia, and he didn't accept that farm because he didn't want that life. People who grew up on the farm, they didn't want that life. But my grandma, she almost cursed him every day for not getting the farm. So I would like to bring them back out. It sounds like a
something going on.
Yeah, we
got to turn that.
We got a lot of traffic. She said it sounded like trucks going by.
Yeah, we're outside.
Yeah, we're right here next to the road, actually. I do apologize, but we had to find a cool spot because we've been out washing clothes this morning. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, we've been doing laundry.
Oh, not a problem. I just didn't want it to be my interference because I have another channel up. But yeah, so anyways, I would like to bring them back together because they were always at each other. And that's the one thing she said consistently is, I don't know why he didn't accept the farm, and I think that even though our family members are getting farms and managing farms now, but I think that would have been a great childhood experience. I remember Eco talking about his grandparent. I don't know if it was grandma. I think it was grandma. And all the things that she taught about having the chicken eat the scraps from the table and all of those things and the cycle that took place. So I would have loved to think of what our life could be
What you
uh,
talking
if
about, Beverly?
if those two, yeah, had gotten the
So,
farm.
auntie, I was thinking about they didn't have a lot, right?
Right,
But it was like they were still rich in a lot of ways, you know.
right.
And when we think about like what do they call it? Minimalists,
Hmm.
Yeah,
they took it to another level. When I tell you they got use out of things, multiple things, even from a piece of clothing, right?
right,
Where even after they got finished with the worn and tattered clothing, they would still put it up and cut it up and sometimes make quilts out of it. They'll do
right,
patches. Sometimes they'll have things like I remember my bit mother, she used to take those strips of clothing and
right.
she would tie the chickens up, feet, by their feet on the
Yeah,
clothesline before she get ready to. She'll hang them all up upside down, and then she'll get the knife and just cut the heads off, right? And then they go
right,
to flap and they bleed on out or what have you. And then she'll take them, untie them, and dip them in that big pot. But I was just thinking about all the cycles of now we get something we just discard it like it's nothing.
Hmm.
Even our
right,
paper bags or our newspapers, they
right.
used to wrap fish in newspapers. You know what I'm saying? Or
I,
or or
I remember
or,
that.
or even like the bags. We
Yeah,
would reuse. You can go to a store and you'll still see that bag being used from another store. You know what I'm saying?
right, right,
We just really used to use things like the life of things versus now we just discard stuff. And I get it, but I think we create a lot of waste,
right.
unnecessary waste in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? And like you, I would love to go back and just see how they went from day to day.
Hmm.
And I do remember I do remember things. I asked my mom once. I was like, how did people back then dress up so much when they had so little? You know, I was asking my mom, how did people dress up so nice, nicely when they were going to town when they had so little. But she said basically that they made everything. So if I watch my mom make all those things, that's why I would want to see my grandparents. I would want to bring them back so that I could see all the things that they could make. Because I do remember getting older, about teenage years, and I'm going to get to the other part of the question too. I remember getting older, about teenage years, and seeing my grandma wash out some of the plastic containers that she would get from the store because she was so used to recycling things, and reusing things, upcycling things. And that brings me to the can on my stove. Just, as an educator, we did little projects. So I said one day, let me take out this can and reuse this can. So I put all of my silver uh, utensils in that can to try to see if I could make it look cute, and then I'll tie like a turquoise ribbon around it. But I think that YouTube channel, I think the YouTube channel that my grandparents would have a lot of her saying, "Shut up" to him in it. And I think and I think he would say, "Woman, hush," a lot. And I also think that we would see how to upcycle a lot of those materials that you're talking about. People reusing, rewrapping fish in brown paper bags,
Hmm.
and taping it up. It'll probably have duct tape, knowing my family, but taping it up, taping that fish up, and then also working in the garden because they did have a garden now, even though they didn't have the farm. And I'm thinking my grandma probably had more to do with that garden than my
Mm.
granddad, because my uh, I guess it was great grandma who was actually said to have been a slave before they moved to that spot in Georgia. She was actually in the garden working on the garden when she passed away. And it also said to have passed away standing up with the hoe in her hand while my aunt was a little one out there and not knowing what happened. She knew that her my great grandmother wouldn't respond. So even though that part I said, is a downside, I think we would have seen a lot, knowing that she was a historical figure, uh, uh, knowing that my grandmother, uh, like her, liked to garden, she liked to garden. So I think that would be a part comedy and a lot of education, a lot of education. Because my grandma actually had a sense of humor. She took a hog head out of out of the refrigerator and ran us with it. So
when back in the day, you used to go to old folks' house. You never knew what you were gonna run into in the refrigerator when you open up the refrigerator.
That's right.
And one thing as a child, I will admit that I hated going to old folks' house. They always wanted to feed me.
And then our parents didn't make it no better. Be like, you better not eat when you go over there.
Man, and my thing was there wasn't no microwaves when I was young. You know what I'm saying? There was no that. They put it in the oven. You ever had wet, warm, hot chicken?
Yeah.
I mean, it used to be fried.
Fried chicken.
I mean, it was fried originally,
but it was wet when you got the leftovers.
But it was wet when I got it. You know what I'm saying? And that just, I mean, it's like they almost put chewing gum in the chicken. You know what I'm saying? And then when you get to the center of the chicken, it's cold. That kind of stuff, man. That kind of, and then you don't see veiny chicken like you did growing up. I don't know if y'all noticed that. But right. Growing up, them veins they'll be hanging out your mouth. You know what I'm saying? You have to suck it like a worm. You have to suck that bad boy like.
Oh my God.
And they were brown too.
Stop, please.
But man,
it's bad, but it's true.
I pick at my food. That's the very reason I pick at my food, because I could never stand seeing that vein in the chicken, and then it was brown. I'm like, why? Yeah, and I would not eat dark meat chicken for a very, very long time. Like probably over the last, I would say 5 years, I started eating dark meat chicken. I would not eat dark meat chicken because I'm like, go on somewhere with them.
I'm with you, unbiased. I paid attention.
But I
wish. What's up, Vision? I wish I would have paid more. I don't know. It's like I was blessed to know my grandmother's grandmother, right? She was born in 1882 or 83, something around there that they know of, right? She passed around like 1984, something like that. So I was a child, right? And then the majority of her life that I remember before the Alzheimer's kicked in, but then the majority of my remembrance was when she did have Alzheimer's, right? Mm-hmm. But I can't imagine seeing a YouTube channel when she was a little girl growing up on the farm, and she was so. When I tell you she was so strong, she was a small statue woman, but she was so strong, and she lived by herself across the street from my big mother, which was my great grandmother, right? Mm-hmm. And she lived in a little pink house. I won't forget it. It was a little pink house, one of what we call a gunshot house, where you can open up the front door and see straight out the back. And it was shotgun, like you didn't have those separate rooms. Shotgun, yeah,
shotgun house.
Shotgun house.
Today we call it a shed or a cabin.
Well,
Yeah.
It's pretty much the
you
same
know,
thing.
you can go over you can go over in Tallahassee. They got an area called Southwood. They got some houses that look like
They basically
they
just
shotgun
they
houses.
fancy
But
overpriced shotgun
they
houses.
$500,000 though. They half a
Yep.
million dollars,
Yep.
but they shotgun houses.
Yeah.
But I remember she used to sweep. She had a sweep up underneath the house. She didn't have no grass. We used to sweep the whole yard, and any um like if there's any type of grass or weed come up, we had to pull it. And she had these straw brooms.
Mm.
And I remember those straw brooms, and I remember she used to braid like it was nothing. She would braid like my big mother would braid. They would braid each other hair, right?
Mm.
Because my big mama had long gray hair too as well. And she would have these plaits. She would wear these plaits. And I remember they my big mother used to grow on the side of her house. It was real shaded, right? But she had nothing but aloe growing, and she used to drink aloe juice every morning, right? She have a big old glass container, and I tried it one time, and that stuff made me almost puke, boy. And the slime, oh my goodness, man! I was like, how do you where you drink this, big mama? But I remember she would just sit there and she'll braid her hair, and then it was just so wavy and so curly. But I just remember the little small things that her and her mom used to do, and they used to work together, you know, in the garden. And Miss I almost called her name, but my great grandmother, she used to she was an amazing woman. When I tell you she was strong, the stuff, because stuff was made out of iron. She kept old stuff like the beds and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was heavy. It was
Yeah.
nothing that was light. You know what I'm saying? And I just remember she was so small, but she could lift stuff that a grown man would be straining at. You know, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Even the iron. I mean, the irons, and she had the weighted irons, the kind you heat up,
Mm-hmm.
not the electric. Everything was in time. Her whole house was like stepping back into maybe like the early 1900s.
Mm-hmm.
The furniture, the chairs, the padding, the cushion. She would restuff her chairs, and she would sew the cushions and stuff. She'll make her own cushions and stuff, and she'll take old stuff and she'll take the stuffing out of the cushions, and then she'll make her own. You know, so it was just, I wish I could just sit there and watch a day in the life of them.
Yeah.
I think that would be so cool and amazing.
Well, you know, with that grandparent that I was telling you about, that grandparent, I also looked in their house, and as I think back, I remember after they moved out of the countryside into the more into the city, that their room had two beds in, twin beds, and they were those iron post twin beds, the heavy with the springs, with the springs on them. You sit on it, you know, it squeaks because they had the springs. Okay, they had those. But one thing I can say is if they had a YouTube channel, we would see both of them sitting on their beds, their separate beds in the same room, but they'll be sitting there just looking at each other. And there's a lot to say about that because people can't stand each other these days. You know, in many ways, they say I love my partner or whoever I'm with, but then they say, but I can't stand this or I can't stand that. You didn't hear them talk about their partner about what they couldn't stand back then because they believe that you put life into it. You know, so for instance, you didn't hear her just sitting around. She would say about my granddad not having taken that farm, but when he was around, she wouldn't talk about it in front of him. So she knew how to protect his emotions. And like I said, they sat there together and she would look at him, he would look at her, and they would tell us to come in the door. The door wouldn't be locked, the front door would be locked. They would tell us to come in and we would find them sitting on the bed looking at each other. And they would tell us, scoot over and tell us, you can sit right here on the bed, you know, it'll be so hot in there. So that would probably be another thing. It would be really hot in there. So we would rather go, we would tell them we'll rather go sit on the front porch. And we did. And that's where we talked to them from, on the front porch. Because we were like, Grandma, Granddaddy, it's hot in here. So we'll probably, if they had a YouTube channel, we'll probably see a lot of sweating and wiping with, like Eco's wiping with his cloth. We'll probably see them wiping with the cloth because that's what my granddaddy used to be doing. And my
Now,
grandma
now,
used to
now,
be
something
singing.
something I noticed they used to do, like especially the men, they'll wear a t-shirt and they'll wear a button-down long sleeve shirt. They would do that too as well.
Hmm.
And I remember vividly that you had the whole community where everybody kind of rallied together. They would help each other, and that was
Hmm.
something amazing too. And
Yes.
do you remember, like, you'll have like death in the family, and the whole neighborhood would come over to the house,
Hmm.
and then you would literally eat for like days upon days. And then I remember a lot of times that's the time when we really get to see our other family members from up north and down south, during the time, during those challenging times, during death in our family. And so I thought that was really cool and amazing too. If there's we had something that I don't see as much, but we used to have a lot of fires, like house fires. And I don't see that as much. And I know it was due to the bad electricity, maybe cooking, or those stoves, or the fireplaces. But I do remember times where there were fires, and I guarantee you, the family members or the neighbors would invite that family over. And I remember we used to my mom and my grandmother and everybody. They'd be like, okay, they had some kids. Y'all need to give up some clothes, and
Hmm.
then we
Yeah.
would all collect clothes, and we'd get bags upon stuff, and then we would help that family, and just give them, if you had an extra, anything extra, for as an old iron or old TV or whatever, you just brought it to that family.
Hmm.
And then you had that sense of that connection with that community,
Hmm.
which I
Yeah.
think we lost a lot of that over a period of time.
Hmm.
Yeah. And probably, and I
I
know
feel you,
in
Shaq.
my generation, watching my mom collect some of our clothes that we liked, and we were saying, not those, don't give them those. And they were like,
Yeah, I remember that. I
and they
remember
were
that.
like, hush, you got plenty. Yeah, you got plenty. So,
Yep.
yeah, you got plenty. So we got to give them something. Yeah, they did teach us.
And
I
I
mean,
remember I remember the beginning of the school year. You know, I would get my cousin clothes. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And the
right,
clothes that they grew out of, especially, don't let them grow out of them real quick before they wear them out.
right, right,
Man, I would swear I had the fresher gear on, because that's what we used to do. You didn't throw
right.
that stuff away. You
That's
gave it.
right.
You gave it away to somebody. And I think about, a lot of times we had these organizations like Goodwill and these different
Right.
shelters and stuff, and they charge crazy prices for
Yeah,
this stuff.
so like
And
you
that
may as well
that
go to
wasn't
the
the
stores
intent.
now.
Yeah, that wasn't the intent. As Unbiased said, it was community giving.
Hmm.
You know,
Right.
we need to go back to where we do community giving.
Hmm.
I
Right.
mean, I
Right.
remember to this day, even my mom now, she's the community nurse, right? But she used to
Yeah.
look for. We would ride around sometimes and look for opportunities to give or to
Yeah.
minister, in so
Yeah.
many ways, and we missed that. Now we
Right.
don't even speak. You walk into a place and we don't even say hello. We don't even
No,
acknowledge each other.
not to each other, anyways. Not to each other. That's sad. Yeah, that's real sad. To see someone walk beside you and you're a familiar face, and they'll speak to the unfamiliar face first, before they even say, reply to you. You can say hi all you want. And I mentioned that one day to a girl who was about 20 years old at one of the churches. And I said, it's sad the way people don't speak these days. And that girl said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Miss B," because that's what they call them. "I'm so sorry, Miss B, because I am one of those girls. I don't speak to people that I don't know." I said, "But where I'm from, if someone took the time to say hello to you, you would just say hi back. Even if
Yeah.
you didn't stop and have a conversation, you would say hi back because it takes nothing to say hello or to wish someone well. And she said, I'm going to change that. So sometimes, when you say little things that people don't even think about, they could be from a different region, anything. And they don't do that where they come from, is what she said. So, sometimes it just takes a little, each one teaching one type thing, because somewhere along the way, that just wasn't their thing. But yeah, my grandparents also took. I heard Auntie Ellen at GQuat Family Traditions, GQuat Traditions say that they had feed sacks. My mom actually learned from from her grandparents to take feed sacks and make clothing out of feed sacks. And so she took a feed sack and made you have a grandbaby, so uh, the the carrier that they put the babies in,
Mhm.
the parent put the babies in like a backpack to carry them
Yeah.
on their body. Well, my mom made one of those carriers out of feed sack and hung my brother on the tree while she went to pick uh, pecans in the field so that she could sell them and make money. And as she told us that, I laughed because also, if we had people like that running YouTube channels today,
Yeah.
that's the type stuff we would be learning. They had their children right there with them. There was none of this stuff, your children running out into the streets. And again, that depends on the region that the person lived in. Because I know up north, they probably played in the street because they had no yard. So you there's a lot to learn, and there's a lot that we could know for having those people back. So thank you for posing that question, because that helped take me back down memory lane. I do try to go back and do things that um, I remember from those people, our ancestors who have gone on before us. Just like on our last conversation, when I said I use a lot of manual things, they had a lot of manual things, and that was, though that was from my childhood. So having manual things now is just something that I do, something that I do because I always think something electrical is going to break down at some point, and
Yeah.
I don't want the stress of not having another option.
And then,
So
something to kind of add to that, having manual tools and manual
I
things
hear
in your
feedback.
home.
I
A
hear a
lot
little
of,
feedback.
excuse me,
I hear a little feedback.
you have feedback.
Yes.
Is it me?
Can you hear me?
I
Is that
I
better?
can hear you. I can hear you. Yes.
That's better.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, it was me.
So having those manual tools and the manual things, it's just like I was talking about my great grandmother. You know, if you think about it, she lived over 100 years, right? And if you
Hmm.
think about from when she was a young girl, she worked on the farm. She worked from day to night, and she worked all the way up to when she passed, right? And she constantly utilized her house was nothing but manual. She had lights and really didn't even use them.
Wow.
She even the lanterns and everything. She used to use those all the way, even though she didn't even have to. She could have easily just flipped the switch. But
Yeah.
when you think about it, your mind, your
Yeah.
strength, your balance, all of those different things, it plays a part by being active, by actually utilizing those manual things. When she lifted a 20-pound iron, a 20-pound iron, imagine that, a hot 20-pound iron. She would wrap the handle with a cloth, and she
Yeah.
would pick it up, and then with certain clothes she would do a 20-pound iron. I can't even imagine rubbing that around, and you you 90 some odd years old. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Then you
Yeah.
go into the part where you go and you put the 10 pound on and you do this. Imagine her legs, imagine her abdomen, imagine her arms, her shoulders, all of this stuff was her back, everything. She was using this all the way up well into her 90s. You know what I'm saying? So it's just some of those things that we do, and I just think about the strength that she had.
Yeah.
Imagine the type of strength that she had to just endure all of those things because it was hot.
Yeah.
Imagine waking up in the morning and here you are, you got to go out here in the field with no shade, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? And here you are, you faced with those challenges, and you then come home and then you prepare for your family for that night, and then it's already just about night, and you cook on a hot stove. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
then you lay down and you start that whole process all over again. So they were built different, man. It was just a different thing altogether. I would still love to see that. I would
Yeah.
love to see my grandmother. I would love to see my great grandmother. I would love to see the family get together. Like I said, I remember we would have 4th of July and people would come from Connecticut, New
Yeah.
Jersey. People come from down south, from Miami. People come from all over the place, right? And that house was packed. You couldn't
Yeah.
even drive, and all down the road were cars. You know what I'm saying? Now we don't even get together. We don't even do that anymore, you know? And
That's
we used to
right.
do that multiple times a year.
And one thing for me is when someone says, let's get together, but everybody put in $200, I'm like, because like that takes away from it because you already just eliminated half of the family when you say that. But when you say, let's get together and you really want to get together, let's get together. Everybody brings something and then everybody shows up. However they get there, carpool, whatever. They show up and it's a neutral area. I think we have to get back to that because we
Yeah.
monetize a lot of things. And when we monetize those things, instead of saying everybody wear a blue shirt, like when I paid for it now. So
Yeah.
whoever likes to do this, I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking about taking this away from what you all like to do. I'm talking about just if getting together is important, get together and say everybody wear orange, because we all want to look alike. Uh, Because this is the stuff that we did at schools. So I always think about the person who don't have the money to do something, who may not have the money for one reason or another. Might not be because they don't work or they don't have money. They sometimes you have to appropriate your funds according to your needs and your lifestyle, and so that might include the person like my mom who would make our things. She would sew our things. She didn't have the funds to always send $10 to school with us because 10 times 6 equals $60 for every little thing that happens at school. So you have
And
to
you
look
and
at
you know at that time $60 paid for the groceries.
Yeah, it was
that's
I
different
mean,
back
right.
then.
$60 would literally pay for your grocery bill, you know?
That's right.
And and
Because I
and, and
remember,
another thing that I think you touched on, do you remember the kitchen? Because I remember in my big mama's house, there were nothing but beautiful faces and everybody was
yeah,
smiling. And my big mama, she had a table in just about every room. She had
yeah,
like multiple tables on the deep freezer with cakes. On
yeah,
the table was full of cakes. In the
yeah,
dining room was full of cakes. Even in the living room, because she made cakes for the neighborhood too, and she sold
yeah,
cakes. But I just
yeah,
remember the laughter. I remember the fellowship, the interaction, family getting together, just smiling,
yeah.
laughing and joking and playing, and that camaraderie, that good feel. That
Right.
man, I would love. That's why I like seeing what it is, country style.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
you know,
Country
I
style
like
living.
seeing I like seeing families come together and truly fellowshipping. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we none of us was hungry when we got
Right.
together. None of
That's right.
us was hungry.
Yeah.
We all even took plates with us when we all got together. it was just the joyous time, and I feel like in a lot of ways we lost that, and
Yeah.
and those are experiences I would love for my kids and my grandkids to feel and to see,
Right.
and
And
then
that's a
to
part of
cherish.
also what Eco Nation is about as well, to get that back. Like
Right.
all of that type of stuff,
Yeah.
we're gonna bring it back, at least
Mhm.
for our extended family, our friends. We're gonna bring it back because that was when you knew that the love was just love.
Yeah. Yeah. Genuine.
And everybody got together. I remember we used to always have the family over for fish fries, cookouts, all types of stuff. We did all of that, and we just, that was one of the goals of having more space, is to be able to bring that type of thing back, bring that feel back, bring that sense of community back, bring that love back that we had one for another, um, just because it was Friday, just because it was Saturday.
Yeah.
Throw a hog on the grill.
Yeah.
One of my aunts had hogs that we used to ride. um, the big dogs, the pit bulls, like the whole nine. And so we just want to bring back that home feel, that country feel. Um, Eco and Gigi, hey there, hey J3G as far as, but we want to bring that back to Eco Nation, and we are definitely doing that. We're doing it already. And yesterday we got to go out and celebrate our daughter, and then once we got there to the restaurant and everything, we start eating. We realized that we should have just did this on the land. Like we really should have just done this on the land, and I think everybody would have been more satisfied, with the food, etc.
We got to get the
Yeah, we still have some infrastructure things that we have to do, but we've started, and we're just going to keep building and continue to bring that sense of community back.
Yeah, because there was always, we used to call it going over the river to our aunt house, across the river. That's what we used
Mm-hmm.
to, across the river, because we had to go across the bridge, a long bridge to get to their home. And yeah, every 4th of July, we would go over there. And it turns out that they were also recognized for the gardens that they had, in Georgia. Um, because they had big giant collard greens, and like we used to love to go over to their house, and my mom would dress all of us in like a white shirt, because we had a color, it was color coded. We would all get white t-shirts, and I remember uh, us getting what is it, the Hanes t-shirts, the pack, the pack of Hanes t-shirts.
Yep.
If you're too big, you just have to tie a knot in the side. But you were
You
gonna,
know,
yeah,
so you made me think about that.
yeah,
I remember. Take care, y'all. I remember when we used to get T-shirts and a permanent marker and used to write on.
yeah.
We would write our name or something like that on it. You remember that?
Be love, be
The
love,
jeans,
be love.
V Love.
the jeans, and everything else. Like
Yeah.
transform your jeans because you are
Yeah,
creative.
that's
And
right.
then I remember we'd get some plastic or something like that, and we'll wet the plastic down, and then we'll slide on the plastic, and then we'll
Mhm.
break open a
That's
big old
it.
watermelon, and we all
And
just
then guess what?
all
And
the
then
kids.
guess what came out? The slip
The
and
slip and
slide.
slide. Yep,
Yeah,
yep, yep.
but
that's
but
right.
in the hood,
A
we already
black
had
plastic bag,
slip and
a
slide.
black trash bag. That's what it
That's
was.
Yep,
it. That's it.
That's
yep.
the
That's it.
original. That's the original. The OG slip and slide was a
That's
black
right.
trash.
That's right. We just didn't have the money to push it out to market.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
you had the sack races too. You know what I'm saying? With
That's
get in the
right.
bag.
Yep,
Oh
Yep.
yeah, all of that.
And the tug of war and all that good
that's
stuff.
right.
The hula hoop
Yep.
competitions, the jump rope competitions, double dutch, all of that.
That's right.
Like
Four
we
square, four
bringing,
square, two square, all that. Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
And it's, I mean, kickball, dodgeball, all of that. Some people have it now to where they have teams coming back. I mean, but this is the other thing. I heard Eco say, ask what the kitchen looks like, or mention the kitchen. and said that everybody was happy in the kitchen. One thing that they did do, they got the greens from the garden, washed the greens, cut the greens, and cooked the greens while the whole party was going on.
Yep.
And and guess what? Everybody joked, they laughed, they popped chewing gum so loud till it hurt my ear. And
And, and
they
one thing
had a good
I used to love to, you didn't get candy like you got it now. It wasn't that
time.
accessible. And boy, just to be around, I asked somebody with some age on them, and I hated when they gave me that brown gum. What was what was the name of that gum?
I don't know. It was gross.
It wasn't Wrigley's. It was a ground. It was Freedent. That's what it was. They give me that Freedent gum. I was like, oh man, because I'd be a little boy. I'd walk up to him. I'd tap him on the leg. Hey, look at him. Look at him. He's so cute. And I'd be like, this smiling. And then I say, you got some gum. Because my mama say, you better not be asking nobody for nothing.
Right. Don't be big. And that's what they said. Right.
They'll be like, what you say, baby? I'm like, no. I said, you got some gum. And then they'll be like, let me see if I got some gum. And I'm like, oh man, boy, stop begging. And then they'll reach in their purse, and then they'll thumb around a little bit. And sometimes you get a peppermint that wrapped, but it got hair in it, got some paper in it, and they give you that to you, and I'll be like, man, I hate to do this, but I gotta put it in there and wet it up and spit it out. But then or they'll give you some gum, and it'll be that brown gum, and I'll be like, oh.
And they tear the hair off the end that got the end that was touching the bottom of the purse. They'll tear the hair off that part and give you the other end of the gum. Yeah, I remember. I remember the fun, nasty stuff, but yeah, but it was fun. And the thing about then is we could all move around because they cooked food. You notice that, right? They cooked food, and you didn't have everybody on medicine like they are today. And so people could have fun. I remember people in their 40s when we were little out there playing against the kids, playing softball, baseball against the kids, and just having fun, So it's something that we can get back to. It's up to individual families, to get back to that and to plan, just like we grew up to plan for our jobs. To plan, because I know I saved our companies plenty of money by doing stuff without the families at the school. So I know we can do it. I know we can do it here, and wherever, if we want to get with our families, we can do the same thing. Because pulling together, there's a story. Because I'm the storyteller, so. There is a story about the family stone soup, about people getting together and everybody saying, I don't have anything. And then the guy came through and then had a stone talking about how magic the stones were, but then asked everybody, if you have one onion, if you have one potato, if you have one tomato, and everybody miraculously found that one thing. Then when they weren't required to give a lot, they were more apt to give. And I think we have to learn a lesson from those things and go back to that, because everybody has, as they say, together everybody achieves more. But if we go back to the simplicity, then everything looks grand in the end, because people are more willing to contribute.
Yeah.
Together
we can do a lot.
Yeah, I mean that's the key. I think biased said about community too. That sense of connection, that sense of togetherness. I get it. We go on about our lives and we do what we need to do, but I just want to encourage people, as you think about maybe some of your loved ones or some events that happen in your life, and if you can imagine it being on YouTube, and if you're a YouTube content creator, I want to encourage you to just please, as African Dreaming, we was talking yesterday, these are catalogs into the future. You know,
Mhm.
here it is where we are sharing things that's happening right now that the future will go back and take a look at. You know,
Right.
imagine for those of you who may have nieces, kids, or great grands and great great grands, imagine them now not guessing what Grandpa Eco would say and what Grandpa
Mm,
Eco would do,
yeah.
right?
Right.
Imagine now, let's go and see Grandpa.
Mm,
Let's go and visit great great grandpa. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Now they can see these things. Now they don't have to wonder. Like, I
mm,
don't know how my grandfather was. My grandfather on my mom's side passed when she was a child, right?
Yeah.
Then my other grandfather, I don't know how he was. You know what I'm saying? But it would be
Right.
amazing just to see, to hear his voice, to hear his laughter, to see his smile. You know what I'm saying? And then see my kids in him and all that kind of stuff. So we as content creators, this is a blessing, y'all.
mm.
Take advantage in cementing memories, take advantage in cementing and influencing the youth, because we got the opportunity, y'all, to really, really share our stories. And I'm not saying share your whole life or nothing like that,
Right.
but I'm just saying
Right.
little snippets, little
Mhm,
Right.
tidbits of pieces of your life.
mhm.
And imagine that. Imagine that. That can be a beautiful thing, y'all.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Jane, thank you so much.
Thank you,
I
Jane.
know it's not showing up,
We can't
but Jane
see it.
sent us a super chat.
Thank you, Jane.
For some reason it's not showing up. I'm not sure
Appreciate that.
what is happening,
That's
but thank you
great.
so
Yeah.
much. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Well, we on StreamYard. Does it show up on StreamYard, or probably would
But it,
probably
it
would
it should
show
be.
up?
I'm on my phone too. It should be showing up
Okay.
somewhere.
Well, we thank you. We thank you, Jane. Thank you
That's
so much.
right.
So we're
And
getting
I
ready to head out. We have this traffic that we've been fighting with. I appreciate your patience on this live. And I'm hoping that you all kind of recreate and use your imagination. Just imagine the
yeah.
impact and the influence. And Auntie Bev, you came through
Thank
again.
you.
Thank you so much for
Thank you for
stepping up.
coming up.
My
Thank you so
pleasure.
much for coming on. And we always invite people to come up. Don't be shy. We all fam. We just gonna have a good time. We're gonna just share some of the things that we like, and we just gonna continue to uplift one another, continue to encourage one another. So
I hope
I'm
y'all
hoping,
enjoyed this little blast from the
yeah, just a
past.
blast from the
And
past. You know what I'm saying?
M. Edwards said it was juicy fruit.
Juicy
Juicy
fruit.
fruit.
Yeah.
Now, juicy fruit was good in the beginning.
Yeah.
Juicy fruit when you first eat it, because I remember I remember sometimes I would get a pack of gum from somebody, and I'm gonna be honest. I would eat the juicy fruit till it gets stale, then I open up another one, then I ate the whole pack, really. But just to get that, keep that sweet taste to it. But
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
free then. That's
Yeah.
what I was talking
It
about. That free dent. Some of y'all might not know nothing about that free dent. Y'all, next time you go to a store, go look for some free dent, and then try to get. You might have to go to a drugstore to get that.
Hi, Resilient
Hey,
Dad.
resilient dad, how you doing? Much
Paul
respect to you.
Conroy, how you
Yeah.
doing?
Hi. Hi. And I
Impeccable.
just want to say this one. Family Man said Stone Soup saw that on that little prairie show. I don't want to
Well,
call the whole name.
Stone Soup. He saw that on the Little House on the Prairie back in the day. Yeah.
you know, I had a teacher. She read the Stone Soup. It was a book, right? It was a story of it, right?
Yeah.
And we made it. And I
Yeah.
still remember that soup because I was disappointed when wasn't no rocks in it. But I remember that soup was good. I don't know what she
Yeah.
did, but she
Yeah.
hooked that soup up, man. I still remember that as a child. But I was so
Yeah.
disappointed because I was like, man, will it crack my teeth? I was like, man, will the stone break my teeth off? But I don't know. I just thought that was cool, you know. But I was kind of disappointed when no stones in the soup.
Oh, we put a big rock in ours. We
You did?
a clean rock in ours.
How you know it was clean?
Oh, because I was the teacher. Because I was the
I'll make
teacher.
sure it was clean.
We put a clean stone in there. Yep. But yeah, no, but this was fun. Thank you all. And if you all can go over to my channel, I made an announcement today that I won't elaborate on, but thank you so much, Eco, for going over there and commenting on on my share time for today on my channel, Auntie
Yeah,
Deb.
y'all check it out.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you all. And I'll chat with you all next time. And
All
yeah.
right.
I'll always be the one to jump on the link when I see
Hey,
the
we
link. Now that
glad.
I know how to do it.
You know, we with it.
Hey, you always welcome. You always
All
Always.
welcome.
right.
Thank you so
Thank
All
much.
right.
you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Take care
All
now.
right.
Family
Bye.
Man
Okay.
says, I was raised by mama, grandmother, learned a lot from her. I let me tell y'all, fam, being in your kids and grandkids' life is so important. And I know a lot of times we get busy, but if you have your mom around, make sure that your kids know your their grandparents. Be intentional. Let them spend some time with them, quality time with them,
Yes.
because those are the man. Your parents and your grandparents can teach kids so much in life. If we could just make sure we stop and be intentional and spend a little time, and let it be quality time, because we're watching our parents get older, and we're watching a lot of wisdom and a lot of knowledge kind of just slip away. You know what I'm saying? And we want to definitely keep that alive. We want to keep that spirit. We want to keep that dream. We want to keep everything alive. So please take the time. Go check on aunties, great aunties. Go check on, even if they're not any kin to you, people that you've seen at church, you've seen growing up. Go check on them. Go call them. Just do a little visit.
It means a lot as you get
Yeah,
older.
it means a lot. It means a lot. And then just spend a little time with them, because they don't want nothing from you. They just want a little time with you. So be intentional with it. Let us uplift our grandparents.
We appreciate you all coming in
Thank
today.
you
Thank
so
you
much
for
for
those who
coming
took
in.
the time to come in and hang out with us. We appreciate you all so much.
Yeah. Thank you again. And you have survived another episode of Eco Nation News. Hopefully this news you can use, but if you can't, still, thank you for stopping by. So we really appreciate you. Thank you for coming in. Paul, gonna close us out. I can think of also Virginia Slims, Sailor, and a few other brands of seeds.
Oh my gosh.
We can say, yeah, man, and the way they held them, man, it was a style. Do you remember the crossing of the legs and the holding that? You got to hold that wrist just a certain way. You know what I'm saying?
Cigarette used to be
Let
about 15 inches long.
Let that cigarette slide in there. And then, look, it was so darn sexy, boy, the way them old women cross them legs, and they'll shake a little bit, and they'll rub their head, and don't let a good song come on. They'll go to rolling like that, pull on that cigarette,
Oh,
and then blow out the nose, and then be rocking like that. Oh my goodness, boy, that little boy. I used to be looking at them grown women. I'd be like, ooh, look at her. Put on that cigarette, boy. Don't get me a woman smoke on a cigarette. But I was like, no. Then I got older.
No. Yeah.
I got older. All right, y'all. Y'all be safe. Y'all love one another and take care of each other. And take care, all right?
All right. Peace, family.
Y'all take care. Peace out.
Bye.
Bam.